we're seeing dogs developing ACL injuries as young as 3 years of age. That is very abnormal compared to how it used to be because of this typical conventional medicine system where these dogs are eating high starch kibble, they're getting the chemicals every month, and they're getting their annual vaccines. These things are going into the body and they drain the liver. When that liver is drained, we get something called liver blood deficiency. And when we get liver blood deficiency, it actually affects the tendons and the ligaments. I had to create a system, what I now call Dr. Natalie here. I just wanted to pop on and talk a little bit about my favorite season. And my favorite season is spring. And the reason for that is because I call it the reset button. So I'm going to pull out my chart here. If we can see the 5 elements, this is the spring element. So this is the season that we're in. This is the first of summer. This is fire. The end of summer is earth. Going into fall, which is the lungs or the metal element. Sorry, this is earth, digestion, lungs, metal element. And then the winter time is the kidney and the bladder element. And we talked a lot about that previously. But we are right here in the spring element, or the liver gallbladder, also known as the wood. And I like to call that the reset button. So I wanted you to have a visual there of really what that looks like. Spring cleaning, right? This is the season for my detox kit. All of my clients could use my kit at this time of the year, and I don't necessarily recommend it all year long for my clients, but anyone can use the spring detox kit during the springtime. And that is because we want to get that liver and the gallbladder prepared for the beginning of the year. I actually teach on healing for the body as well in another YouTube channel that I have. And I do that also in accordance with the Chinese medicine calendar and the Hebrew calendar. So the beginning of Nisan is the first of the Hebrew calendar. It's the first month of the Hebrew calendar, and we just started that month. It is a very exciting time, in my opinion. It's the time when the leaves are starting to bud, plants are starting to break through the ground. We've got our daffodils that we've just seen. We're going to see some irises, tulips. All those bulbs are going to come forth, right? So spring is an exciting season, and we need to think about that in the body as well, and especially in our pet's body. And so something I wanted to talk about today that is extremely common, that is directly linked with that liver element, is ACL injuries, okay? In our practice, we don't see ACL injuries, not usually with our patients. Now, we treat them, obviously, because I love treating musculoskeletal issues, and we do canine rehabilitation, chiropractic acupuncture, but that liver and that gallbladder are directly linked to the tendons and the ligaments. Now, isn't that exciting to know? On average now, we're seeing dogs developing ACL injuries as young as 3 years of age. That is very abnormal compared to how it used to be. It used to be when dogs got older and they had a lot of wear and tear on their joints, or they've been walking with an abnormal gait for a really long time and they've put abnormal wear on those joints. But because of this typical conventional medicine system where these dogs are eating high starch kibble, they're getting the chemicals every month, and they're getting their annual vaccines. These things are going into the body and they are affecting the liver, and they actually get caught up in what's called hepatobiliary circulation, and they drain the liver. And when that liver is drained, we call the liver the general of the body. When that liver is drained, we get something called liver blood deficiency. And when we get liver blood deficiency, it actually affects the tendons and the ligaments. And so that puts us at risk of an ACL or a CCL, which could be also the caudal cruciate ligament as well. And that will create a rupture. Isn't that exciting to know that we can prevent that? Remember, the goal of our practice is proactive medicine. What can we prevent? We can prevent ACL and CCL injuries by supporting and taking care of that liver. There are several different Chinese herbs that are really, really good for supporting that liver blood. But if a patient comes to me, I can't just put them on those supplements. I did that one time years ago. Okay. This would be probably 7 or 8 years ago. And the first dose of that Chinese herb, the dog got diarrhea, and the lady was livid and was like, I will never come back to you. I don't like this. I can't believe this medicine gave my dog diarrhea. And I'm like, oh my good Lord. Like, it was a strong reaction, right? For a bout of diarrhea from an herbal medicine. But when people don't understand something or it's new to them, right, they tend to react in fear. So I had to really start coming up with a method of being able to treat dogs with Chinese herbs that had never been on Chinese herbs before and have also been in that conventional type of medicine, receiving all of those normal chemicals, which that dog was, right? There was no problem there with her getting the oral flea and tick meds and all the other toxic stuff. But lo and behold, one bout of diarrhea from Chinese herbs would make someone just lose their ever-loving mind. So I had to create a system that allowed the body to accept yin herbs or qi tonics. And the way that I did that is by creating what I now call the Holistic Pet Reset. And so the Holistic Pet Reset can be used for any pet to begin opening up their lymphatics, getting the cells to begin to function so the cells will respond to actually receive supplementation, okay? Nourishing and trying to heal the gut so that the gut can receive the supplements that we want it to receive. And then we can go after that liver blood deficiency or that liver yin deficiency, or sometimes blood and yin deficiency, which can lead to those tendon injuries. So the Holistic Pet Reset that I put together is for every pet, but especially every pet at this time of year. This is a good time for you to be able to get on board and just say, I want to start from scratch with my pet. I want to get them ready for the next year. This is a good way to do that, okay? And then also, some people are like, well, I don't really give my dogs chemicals. I don't do this. I don't do that. That's okay. It's still a really good time to do a detox, because this is when the liver needs to be opened, okay? So it's actually the kidney. We've had yin and yang down. We've had yin and yang sitting down into this kidney element. And we're starting to come like this and bring yin and yang through that liver and the gallbladder. And then it's going to come out for summer into that fire element, and then start to kind of move into the digestive element. And then it starts to kind of retract and go back into the body again. So even if your dog isn't one that has had chemicals, like with my pets, they don't have chemicals, I can still use these herbs to open up their lymphatics and prepare them for the coming year. So that's part of what this reset is all about.